to have you here today. My name is Carolina Fernandes and I'm part of Worten Catalog team. Today, I'll be introducing you to the new module available at Worten, Mirakl Catalog Manager. In this webinar, we will start with an introduction to Mirakl Catalog Manager, followed by an overview of the seller's journey at MCM. Then, we will go through a step-by-step guide to that journey. After that, we will see how to correct or enrich products using MCM. And finally, explore the AI feature available. So, let's start with the first topic. Let's start with a quick introduction to Mirakl Catalog Manager. MCM is a module designed specifically to manage and optimize the product catalog. It complements the current Mirakl platform, but brings new tools that make the cataloging simpler, faster, and more transparent. The focus is improving the seller experience, making it easier to create, update, and enrich product information. With MCM, the entire cataloging process becomes centralized and streamlined, ensuring a better flow between Worten and its sellers. Some of key features include complete product management, real-time tracking of a product status, a centralized correction and enrichment process, an easier view of all products available at Worten, and AI tool to help you to map attributes and categories. Overall, MCM represents a major step closer to a more efficient, transparent, and sellers-friendly catalog management process. Now, to give you a better idea how MCM works, let's watch a short introductory video.
So, to access MCM, simply click on the new tab, Catalog Management, under Catalog section. This is where all the new MCM functionalities are centralized. At the top, you will find these three main tabs. The first one, My Catalog, where you can view all your products. Second tab, To Review, where you will find products marked as invalid or those that require change. And the last one, Platform Catalog tab, where you can see all products available in Worten Marketplace. Within each tab, you will see a product list displaying the product name, image, and status. You will also have several filters available. For example, you can filter by product status. And this is where you will manage your entire catalog. Later in this webinar, we will explore these features in more detail.
So, the seller's journey in Mirakl Catalog Manager involves steps that take place both on the seller side and on the Worten side. Let's take a look at how each of the four main steps in this journey works.
Let's start. Step 1. Product import. The seller begins by importing their products into Mirakl. This can be done manually through the seller's own file using the Worten template or via API. If the product already exists on our marketplace, your work is a correction or enrichment. We will cover this later. But if the product does not exist, it's a new product. And that's our focus for next steps. Step 2. Validations in Catalog Manager. After importing your products, you should always check for any errors and correct them if needed. Once your products are valid, they move on to the next stage, where our catalog team reviews them. At this point, the team may accept, reject, or request changes to the products. And finally, we arrive at step 4. Seller's action. Based on the feedback from catalog team, the seller will need to take action. For accepted products, the seller should proceed to create an offer for them. For changes required products, the seller must update the product according to the feedback provided. After importing the changes, the product status will move to pending, and it will be re-evaluated by the catalog team. And finally, for rejected products, no action is required. These products cannot be sold.
Finally, we always recommend importing your offers first, as many products may already exist in the Worten marketplace catalog. In that case, you will only need to add your offer instead of creating a new product. Ready to dive a bit deeper into each step of the flow? In step 1, you will need to choose one of the catalog import methods available in Worten, and then import your catalog. There are 4 ways to do it, depending on the size and structure of your product range. Create product by product, ideal if you only want to create a small number of products. Worten template, perfect for sellers with a wide range of products. This template allows you to create multiple products at once and manage your catalog more efficiently. Seller template. You can also use your own file template as long as you ensure the categories and the attributes are correctly mapped to the Worten structure. And the last one, API. This option is ideal for large catalogs, allowing you to submit or update products automatically and in bulk. Now, let's check out of some best practices to keep in mind. Always submit your offers first. Choose the import method that best fits your needs. And always place products in correct category and fill in all mandatory attributes precisely. Following this last point is crucial. It minimizes errors in later validation stages and makes the product creation process much faster. Correct categorization and fill-in attributes are also vital for the website, as they ensure products appear in the right menus and are easy for customers to find. Remember, mandatory attributes are carefully defined to capture the key information a customer needs to make a purchase decision. So, filling them out correctly helps improve visibility and conversions. Now that we have seen step 1, let's go back into Mirakl Catalog Manager and explore what kind of information you can find there about the products you have created. We will take a closer look at the product details available inside MCM so you can better understand how to monitor, validate, and manage your catalog directly within the platform.
So, you can search for your product using this search bar or by applying these filters. You can filter by product status, offers, category, brand, creation date, or update date. To see more detailed information about the product, simply click on its name. This will open the product datasheet, where you can access all the key information. On the left-hand side, you will notice there are 2 product datasheets. The one at the bottom represents your import. That's your technical catalog, the information you submitted for that product. And the one at the top is the master data. This is the final version of the product information that appears on the Worten website. The master data combines catalog information sent by different sellers for the same product, so it may be more complete or a bit different from what you individually provided. Here, you can view the product name, and here, right at the beginning of the catalog, you will find the most relevant product information, such as the name, brand, category, or the images that you imported. By scrolling down this page, you also can view the offer of the product and the rest of the technical catalog.
After importing your catalog into Mirakl, your products can have one of two status: valid data or invalid data. In the Mirakl Catalog Manager, the status invalid data means that the product data sheet does not comply with the requirements defined by Worten. In other words, there are errors in the product catalog that needs to be corrected. The most common reasons include mandatory attributes not filled in, incorrect data formats, values outside the allowed limits, or image-related errors. When a product has the status invalid data, it cannot be published until other errors are fixed. If the products are correct and contain no errors, they receive the flag valid data and automatically move on to the next stage, which we'll explore a bit later in this webinar. Now, let's go back to the Mirakl Catalog Manager and see how to identify and correct products marked as invalid data. We will explore where to find these products inside MCM, what kind of information is available to help you to understand the errors, and how to fix them so your products can move forward in the cataloging process.
Let's now see how to correct products marked as invalid data. First, let's understand how to identify them in MCM. You can find them under the To the Review tab here or in My Catalog tab by filtering by status. Select Invalid Data so that only the products that need correction appear. To understand exactly what needs to be fixed for each product, just click on the product name to open the product datasheet. All invalid data fields are marked with this warning sign, which highlights what's wrong. In this example, the attribute color family is mandatory but wasn't filled in, so it's flagged as an error. You can correct invalid data in two ways. First, re-import your catalog with the corrected information, or edit the catalog directly here in MCM by clicking the Edit button. Find all fields with the warning sign and correct them. Once you make necessary corrections, click Save. The product status will then change to valid data, meaning everything is now correct and the product can move on to the next stage of the workflow.
After all the errors have been corrected, your products will finally reach the status valid data. This means that the products now meet all required criteria and can move on to the next stage, validation by the catalog team. We will talk more about that validation process later in this webinar and go into more detail about what each status means. For now, let's just focus on understanding the different status a product can have once it's marked as valid data. These status are new, accepted, rejected, changes required, or pending verification. This status helps track exactly where each product is in the catalog validation flow and make it easier for you to know what actions are needed at each stage. Before we go into more detail about what each status means and how it relates to the actions of the catalog team, let's take a closer look directly inside the Mirakl Catalog Manager, where we will see where you can check the status of your products and what additional info each status provides.
There are many ways to check the status of your products in Mirakl Catalog Manager. You can do this directly from the Product Status column, by filtering by status here, or by clicking on individually products to see more detailed information. On the left-hand side, you will see whether the product is valid or invalid. That is, whether it passes Mirakl's technical validation rules. On the right-hand side, you will find the status given by the catalog team. Let's look at a few examples. For example, this product. This product has status valid data and was accepted by the catalog team. This means it's passed all Mirakl validation rules and was approved by the catalog team. It's ready for offers. Let's check other example. This one. This product also has valid data but was rejected by the catalog team. It's important to note that even if a product is valid in Mirakl, it can still be rejected by the catalog team. For example, if it doesn't comply with marketplace policies or cannot be sold online. Let's check one last example. This one. This product is also valid, but has the status changes required. This means it's passed the technical validations, but the content team requires some updates to the product information before it can be published. If you hover your mouse over the exclamation mark icon, you will see more detailed feedback on what needs to be changed. Until those corrections are made, the product will remain in the changes required status. We will explore this status in more detail later in this webinar.
With the introduction of the Mirakl Catalog Manager, there has been an important change in how product creation and rejection information is shared. Before MCM, information about products that were created or rejected on the Worten marketplace was sent via email. This made it harder to track updates and keep everything organized. After MCM, all this information is now centralized directly in Mirakl. That means you can easily see the status of your products, where they are pending, accepted, rejected, or required changes, all in one place within the Catalog Manager interface. This makes the whole process much more transparent, efficient, and easier to manage. After completing all the necessary validations in Mirakl Catalog Manager, we move on to the next step, validation by the content team. The content team reviews product catalogs to ensure that all information is accurate, clear, and customer-friendly, helping provide the best possible shopping experience. There covers three main areas. For example, images, checking that image links work and comply with Worten's guidelines. Content, verifying that the product information is clear, correctly categorized, and all the mandatory attributes are properly filled in. Other checks, confirming that items are eligible for sale on the Worten marketplace. These validations guarantee that every published product meets Worten's quality and standards, ensuring customers have complete and reliable information when making a purchase.
Do you remember the 5 product status we talked about earlier? Now let's connect each of these status to the actions performed by the catalog team during the validations process. New. It's a new product. It has been created and is awaiting acceptance or rejection by the catalog team. Accepted. The product has been approved by the catalog team and is now eligible for offers. Changes required. The product has been temporarily rejected because it does not meet certain quality or content requirements. The catalog team provides feedback and the seller must update and resubmit the product for review. Pending verification. After the seller makes and imports the request corrections, the product moves to pending verification. This means the catalog team is reviewing the update information to confirm that everything is now corrected. Rejected. The product has been definitively rejected, meaning it cannot be published or sold on the marketplace. These status show the full workflow between sellers and catalog team, making it easier to understand where each product stands and what actions are needed to move forward. In other words, depending on the status decided by the content team, you, the seller, will have a specific action to take. If the product is accepted, it's ready, and your action is to create an offer for that product. If the status is change is required, you will need to update the information according to the feedback provided and re-import the file. Once that's done, the product will move to pending verification and where the catalog team will review it again. And if the product is rejected, unfortunately, no further action is possible. That product cannot be sold on the marketplace.
Now, let's take a closer look at the changes required status and the specific action you can take when your product is in this situation. To do that, let's go back into Mirakl Catalog Manager and explore exactly where you can find these products, how to understand the feedback provided by the catalog team, and how to make the necessary corrections.
To correct products with the status changes required, you can do it either from the To Review tab here or directly from My Catalog tab. For this example, let's use the My Catalog tab. I will start by filtering the products by product status and select changes required. And then select one of the rejection reasons I want to fix. In this case, the reason is image link does not work or is invalid. We can see that there are 4 products with this same rejection reason. To get more information, I will hover the cursor over the exclamation mark icon. And here, I can read that the image link I used is either invalid or not working. The comment also mentions error 404, which means the link is broken. Now, there are 2 ways to correct these products: importing corrections in bulk or editing directly in MCM. Let's start importing corrections in bulk. Click on Import Products and select Corrected File from your computer. Now click on Confirm. Once the import is complete, go back to the Catalog Manager to check the updates. You will see that the product status has changed from changes required to pending. This means the corrections have been submitted and are now waiting for validation by the content team. Now that we have know how to correct the changes required in bulk, let's use this same example to correct them manually in MCM, editing directly here. Open the product and click Edit. In this example, I will fix the product image by deleting the invalid link and uploading a new image. Then click Save. Once saved, the product status will change to pending verification, meaning that the catalog team will now review the correction. This flexibility allows you to fix errors in bulk or individually, ensuring your catalog is always up to date and compliant. We have now complete our step-by-step journey through the Mirakl Catalog Manager. Let's quickly recap the entire process in just a few lines. Step 1. Product import. The seller imports their catalog into Mirakl. Step 2. Validation in MCM. The system checks for errors. Products must meet all requirements to move forward with the status valid data. Step 3. Content team validation. The catalog team reviews each product and decides whether it is accepted, needs change, or is rejected. Step 4. Seller's action. Based on that feedback, the seller either creates an offer, corrects the product information, or, if rejected, takes no further action. This completes the full cycle from product creation to publication, and all within the Mirakl Catalog Manager.
Now, let's look at how the correction and enrichment process has changed with the introduction of the Mirakl Catalog Manager. Before MCM, any corrections or improvements to products had to be made through tickets submitted in the seller center. This sometimes made the process slower and less centralized. After MCM, everything is now centralized directly in Mirakl. You can make your corrections or improvements in two ways. By importing your catalog again with the necessary updates or corrections. In the same way you would import your catalog when creating new products. Or directly within the Catalog Manager, where you can edit and enrich product details. Of course, you can still use the Seller Center, but now it should only be used for questions or support requests, not for catalog topics. This change makes the whole process much faster, simpler, and fully integrated within MCM. Before moving on to examples, let's better understand the difference between product enrichment and corrections. Enriching a product is when a seller adds new information to a field that was empty. In other words, the field had no information and now it does. This means that the seller imports their information, and since the field is empty, the information goes to the master data, because there was no owner for that field yet. On the other hand, correcting a product is when a seller changes information that already existed in the field. This can be done to correct an error or to update or supplement existing information. In this case, the field in the master data is already filled with a certain value, and the seller wants to change it. The seller imports their information and it remains pending validation for the catalog team. Remember, master data is the final version of the product information that appears on the Worten website. It combines catalog information sent by different sellers for the same product, so it may be more complete or a bit different from what you individually provided. Let's look at a more visual explanation. Seller imports their catalog. Is the attribute filled in? Yes. Then is a correction. After importing the catalog, the content teams validate the submitted information and may approve or reject it. If it is rejected, there is no change in the master data. If the change is approved, you will see the correction in the master data and later on the website. Now, going back to the beginning of the flow. Is the attribute filled in? No. Then is an enrichment. Since there was no information in this field before, the information you added goes to the master data. There are two ways to correct or enrich a product. 1. Import the information via API or file, or 2. Edit the product information directly in MCM. According to MCM logic, corrections made directly on the front end, since the attributes have already been previously validated and accepted by the Worten, are not considered for the recalculation of master data. For this reason, we recommend that all corrections be made via API or file. Let's go back to MCM and see how the corrections or enrichment process works.
As we did when correcting and validating changes required, the process of correcting or enriching a product is very similar. To illustrate this process, we will use two after-sends products as examples. In one of them, we will enrich the information. We will add the name in Spanish, the type, and the product model. Note that these fields are correctly empty. For the correction example, we will use this product. In this case, we will correct the capacity in the product name and the attribute's capacity too. We then import the catalog. In this case, I choose to correct and enrich via file using the Worten template. This one. As we can see after importing the catalog, this product already enriched, both in our product datasheet, here, and in the master data too, here. Now, this product has been corrected in our product datasheet, here. And for this example, I have already approved the correction so that it also appears in the master data.
We have arrived at the last topic of our webinar. Let's now explore the new AI feature available in the Mirakl Catalog Manager. This feature is an upgrade of old mapping wizard. Before MCM, we used the mapping wizard as a tool that guides you step by step to map your catalog fields to Worten structures. Now, with MCM, we have AI, which introduces new smart capabilities such as automatic suggestions that reduce manual mapping time and alert for wrong categorization with AI that automatically suggests based on product titles, descriptions, and catalog. When you use the configuration wizard to map your product's categories to the marketplace Worten's categories, you can benefit from Mirakl AI technology. AI provides you with mapping suggestions for your categories. This way, you can reduce the time spent on mapping and the risk of errors. Now, let's go back to Mirakl and look at how this new mapping wizard works in practice.
On the left, click Catalog Mapping and then select Use the Mapping Wizard. Start by selecting your file. Then, indicate which column contains your category. In step 3, the wizard will begin analyzing your categories for auto-mapping. To begin the review of the category mapping suggestions, click Automap. The category mapping suggestions window appears. Next, click Confirm. On attribute mapping, the wizard will have already begun processing your catalog attributes for auto-mapping. Click Automap to continue. Your attributes are now displayed on the right. You can integrate them in catalog attributes on the left by selecting them from the list. Next step, value mapping. Once your values have been analyzed, click Automap. The mappings have been applied, and you can now attribute the catalog values to the My Values column. And the last step, summary and validation. Verify your categories and attributes before confirming your import.
With the introduction of the Mirakl Catalog Manager, Worten aims to address the main pain points of the current catalog process and make product creation and management as efficient, transparent and intuitive as possible, ensuring a truly positive experience for all sellers. Our goal is to increase your satisfaction with the catalog process and to continue improving based on your feedback and needs. Thank you so much for joining us today and for taking your time to learn more about the new module available at Worten. We truly appreciate your participation and we hope this session helps you to feel more confident and supported as you're starting using MCM.